There's 5 steps to launching your product on Amazon, starting with number 1, product research. What is product research?
Product research is the most important part of selling a product on Amazon. This is where you find out what product do you actually want to sell. And it's important to remember that the way that Amazon FBA works is people go to Amazon to search for things that they want to buy. And your goal is to come up at the top of the search results.
There's a lot of different methods that you can use for product research. Would you like to break down a couple that are most effective?
Yeah, there are free ways to do product research, and then there's also paid ways. One of the best free ways to do it, actually, here's a little tip. You can find out exactly how much any product is making on Amazon. Go to any product that's being sold on Amazon, scroll down to the best-selling rank number, take that, copy it into the free Jungle Scout sales estimator, and it'll tell you in dollars how much this product is making per month. Now, this is a great trick to know which products are making a lot of money on Amazon, but you still need to find out what product you actually want to sell. And one of the ways of doing this is the Amazon search bar method. Again, remember that the only way to make a lot of money from Amazon is to find products that a lot of people are searching for. And the Amazon search bar will autocomplete to what the top results are. For instance, if you type in the word vegan space and the letter C, it'll show you all the most common things that people are searching for when they type in vegan space C. You can go down this list and you can see vegan candy bar is actually one of the top ones. So let's search for that on Amazon, and we see that for vegan candy bar, not a lot of really good products are showing up. So if you were to make your own vegan candy bar, a lot of people are searching for this on Amazon, and you could probably get to the top of the search results, which would mean a lot of profit for you. Now, another way that you can do product research that's even a more powerful way is using tools like Helium 10. Now, this does cost a little bit of money. I'm sure AJ will have a discount link for you down below. But what Helium 10 does is it allows you to see exactly how many searches different search phrases are getting in Amazon. And this is the method that I use to find my product. And for those that don't know me, my name's Travis Marziani. I've been selling on Amazon for about 6 years. I've been a full-time e-commerce seller for over 9 years. And I had one product on Amazon that did over $1 million in sales, over $400,000 in profit. And this is also the same method that AJ used to find his product. And he's only been selling on Amazon for a few months, and he's already done hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales and even got his product featured on national TV.
And it's important to understand that Amazon is one of the largest search platforms on the planet. Think about Google. They make a lot of their money because someone's going there to solve a problem. They're looking for an answer. Amazon's the same thing. They're looking for a solution to a problem, and you need to make sure you're finding something that people are searching for.
And there's over 147 million Prime customers just in the United States. That's a lot of people every single month searching for products. In fact, last year alone, Amazon did over $400 billion in e-commerce sales. And the crazy thing about this is 2/3 of all the sales that happen on Amazon were from third-party sellers. That's people like you, me, and AJ selling our products on Amazon and making money off that.
And if you're like me and you really struggle with product research, we'll talk about it at the end of the video, but we did put together a little 7-day Amazon challenge where we even broke down for an entire hour all the different methods for you to find your perfect product. The second step to launching your product is building a brand and creating a tribe. You want to talk a little bit about how to build a brand?
Well, it's very easy to actually get a logo and create packaging around your product. You can go to sites like Fiverr and get a logo done for anywhere from $5 to $50. Or if you want a little bit more of a professional option, you can go to sites like 99 Designs and get a bunch of different graphic design artists working on a logo for you for only $300. If you do 99 Designs, you'll get 300 different submissions of people helping you find a logo. And it's very important to have a logo for your business. It's very important to have a unique brand and identity, because there's a reason why people pay way more money for branded products. For instance, you look at a generic shoe versus a Nike shoe. Nike can charge over $100, where the generic shoe is gonna cost you $20 or $30. You can use the same methodology to make a lot more profit for your Amazon product.
And then the next step, you're gonna wanna work with a designer to really work on the design elements of your product. If you're creating something you're passionate about or you have experience in, like cocktail cards, I was a bartender for 10 years, so I had a good idea of who my dream customer would be. And I would kind of take their demographics and talk to my designer, like, we want to reach sophisticated men within a certain age, which was kind of right, but kind of not. But at least that gave us a direction to tell our designer to really create the elements that would help attract that perfect audience.
And remember, again, since people are going to be searching on Amazon and they see your product, you want them to click on your product. And if you create a product that is perfect for them, they're more likely to click on your product. And if they click on your product, they're more likely to buy your product. Another important way to get to the top of the search results and get a lot of sales for your product is to get reviews. And one of the best ways to get a lot of reviews for your product right from the beginning is to create a tribe around your product. And this is something that AJ is an expert on. How do you create a tribe?
There's lots of different ways that you can create a tribe and eyeballs on your product. You can work with influencers who have a lot of audience already. You can run paid ads to get them into Facebook groups, which gets a lot of eyeballs on your products, or you can do what I did and just build your brand on social media. I utilize TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube with literally no experience. I just invested months of my time learning the platforms and kind of creating content related to my product. A cocktail flashcard product, I was putting out cocktail related content. Very simple, and then when you actually come out with a product, they're gonna wanna support you, and they're gonna go buy your product, which not only are they gonna give reviews, but it's gonna help rank your product organically as well.
And you don't need to do any of this stuff to be able to sell a product on Amazon, but this is like gasoline on top of the fire. This is gonna get you a ton of sales from day one of launching your product. It's also gonna help you get a ton of reviews. And when you get a ton of sales and a ton of reviews, you slowly move up higher and higher on the Amazon search results, which means more money for you.
And not to mention, if you've gone through all that work of building a brand and really building up your tribe, you now have a premium product, something like Nike. So you can actually charge a premium price because you're unique and different from anyone else. Step number 3 is manufacturing, which is actually getting your product created. You want to talk about the steps on how to find a manufacturer?
Yeah, so if you want to find a manufacturer, it depends if you're looking for one in China or overseas or someone in the United States. If you're going to get your product produced overseas, it's going to be a lot cheaper, normally speaking, and it's really easy to do. You can go to sites like Alibaba.com, type in whatever the kind of product that you're looking to create. For instance, with AJ in cocktail cards, he just typed in flashcards into Alibaba, and you'll get a list of 100 different people that can make exactly the product that you're trying to create. You then contact the different manufacturers, explain to them the kind of product that you're looking to make, and you can ask for a sample. Now, they'll usually give you a sample for free, but you're gonna have to pay shipping. So it cost AJ, I think, around $50 to get the sample shipped from China over to the United States. And this was just a dummy sample, just a blank box. Eventually, after doing some back and forth, all you really need to do is send over to the manufacturer any of the kind of design elements you have, the logos, anything like that, and they will actually manufacture the product for you. Now, a lot of people are intimidated and think it's gonna be hard to find a manufacturer or to work with a manufacturer. What was your experience like working with a manufacturer?
Yeah, for me, it was the exact same thing. I was nervous and intimidated, but real quickly I realized their number one goal is to get you exactly what you want. So step number 1, make it really clear what you want your product to be. This could be something as simple as literally writing on a piece of paper the shapes or the type of product that you want with the dimensions on it, and they're gonna communicate. They're gonna do whatever they can in their power to recreate exactly what you want. And maybe not every manufacturer is able to do it, so a really good hack that you guys can do is create an email template explaining what you want and just email as many manufacturers as possible until you've really found a handful of them that can create the exact product you want.
I'll even share with you my own personal email template in the Amazon FBA challenge at the end of this video. Another thing that a lot of people struggle with is they're afraid, how much money is it gonna cost to start my Amazon business? And the truth is, if you followed the steps so far, if you've actually created a brand and created a tribe, you can start your Amazon business for pretty much $0. You can have other people pay for all the startup costs for your Amazon business. And want to talk about how you did this? Because AJ did an amazing job at this.
Absolutely. The hack in this is building a tribe and then utilizing something like a crowdfunding website. This could be Kickstarter. I personally used Indiegogo. And again, I documented my whole journey from the very beginning on TikTok, back when I had 0 followers, and they really wanted to kind of see what I was doing, what the product I was creating, getting feedback from them. I let them help create my actual product. So when I actually went live on Indiegogo, we ended up raising over $100,000. Now, I do think that's a little bit lucky and rare. However, most people I know that have done this method, they can typically raise up to $5,000, which can pay for the entire manufacturing run of their product.
Which is a great hack, because the number one mistake I see that people make is they never get started. They have this great idea for a product, this great idea for a business, but they never do the first step.
Which is the number one thing I was guilty of. I was stuck in analysis paralysis because when I started this business, I was an out-of-work bartender with no money. So I know how that feeling is, but no, there's other methods out there for someone who doesn't have a lot of money to start a business. So the next step of getting your product launched on Amazon is shipping. So if a manufacturer makes your product, no matter where they are in the world, they still have to get your product shipped to you so you can send it in to Amazon. You want to talk a little bit more about how shipping works?
This is another thing that a lot of people are intimidated by. So if you have a product that's manufactured in China and you need to get into the United States, how do you do that? Well, you have two real options. There's air shipping and there's sea shipping. Air shipping is where they put your products on an airplane and ship it over to the United States. Now, this is usually really fast. It's going to take between 5 to 7 days to get to you or to get to the Amazon warehouse. But it is really expensive, and sometimes they may even damage your product, which is another thing that happened to AJ. Your other option is to do sea shipping, which is a lot slower. At a minimum, it's gonna take 4 to 6 weeks, but as you may know, there's recently been a lot of delays at the ports and just a lot of different issues going on. And so that's gonna take 4 to 6 weeks, all the way up to, I think it took you 3 months at one point. But it is gonna be a lot cheaper, and you're probably gonna have less issues with damaged products.
And I've done both ways of shipping in my business, and I will say air shipping is really convenient if you want your product faster, right? If you want to get up on Amazon faster, but you will have to pay quite a bit extra money to do that versus sea shipping where you just wait around a little bit longer and you do save quite a bit of money. But either way, whether you want to do air shipping or sea shipping, you still have to find someone to ship your product. Can you talk about how to do that?
Yeah, you can simply hire a freight forwarder, and it's really inexpensive to do this. I mean, there really is two options. You can use DHL, and you can just tell your manufacturer, hey, use DHL to ship my products. That would be for air shipping. But if you are doing sea shipping, there's professional people that this is all they do, and you don't have to deal with any of the paperwork. You don't have to deal with customs or any of that kind of stuff. You just give them a check and say, please get this product to me, and they take care of all the hard parts.
And how do you go about finding a freight forwarder?
Well, there's a lot of different ways. You can actually go to Alibaba.com, and they have freight forwarding services. They have logistics services. There's also a bunch of other websites, and I personally have someone that I'm happy to share with you if you want to reach out to me as well.
And not to mention the almighty Google.com.
That's a great point, yeah.
The fifth step to selling on Amazon is creating a listing and launching it on the platform. But first, we got to set up an account. You want to talk about how to do that?
So a lot of people don't know how to do this. They're really intimidated by this step, but it's very easy to create a selling account on Amazon. All you have to do is go to Amazon, apply for a seller account, and it's gonna be a very similar process as applying for an email. Now, you will have to have a few more pieces of documentation, a few more other things that you'll have to give to Amazon. For instance, I would highly recommend setting up either a DBA or an LLC. A DBA stands for Doing Business As, and it's gonna cost you around $100 through sites like LegalZoom. This allows you to open up a legitimate business bank account and keep your business expenses separate from your personal expenses. On the other hand, you could do an LLC, which stands for Limited Liability Company. The benefit of doing an LLC is it actually protects you. It creates a separate entity from yourself. So if someone ever tried to sue your business, they can't come after your personal assets. Now, the problem with an LLC is it's a little bit more expensive to start. You can get an LLC started for around $300 to $350, but if you're in states like California, which is my original residence state, it's gonna cost you an extra $800 a year on top of just the registration fee. But you don't necessarily need to have a DBA or an LLC. You can actually use your social security number and start selling on Amazon, but it does help to have both these. Other than that, you just go through the step-by-step process of applying to sell on Amazon, and they'll eventually approve you.
And once they do accept you, you'll finally have a live Amazon sellers account. And the next thing you have to do is list your product on Amazon. Do you have any tips there to not only when they search for a product, they click it, but also buy the product?
Yeah, so again, Amazon makes this extremely easy to add your product to sell on their website. And they are a giant company. They're a $1.6 trillion company. They've optimized their entire website to make it as easy as possible for you to sell a product on there. And so what you do is you go into your Amazon seller account, you click add a product. It'll then ask you what category do you want to sell your product in, and there's some very easy ways to figure this out. But once you figure out what your category is, you're gonna be asked, what is the title of your product? Now, this is a key part. Again, you have to remember Amazon is a search engine. People go to Amazon to search for things like cocktail flashcards, keto nut butter, or the example we used earlier of vegan candy bar. People are searching for all these different things, and you want your product to come up to the top of the search results. So how do you do that? Well, you make sure that you include these search phrases, these keywords in the title of your product. So for instance, for AJ, for his product cocktail cards, he made sure he put bartending flashcards in the title.
For instance, my title for cocktail cards, I put 100 cocktail recipes to master cocktails in bartender flashcard form with step-by-step cocktail instructions and video instructions. Kind of noticing a trend? I'm trying to cover everything that someone would possibly search for.
In addition to trying to figure out what people are searching for, you want to make a title that people are going to want to click on, because humans at the end of the day are going to read this, and Amazon notices if a lot of people are clicking on your product, they're going to put you higher up at the top of the search results. Another really important thing to remember is not only when people are searching for things does the title show up, the other really important thing, and maybe the most important thing, is the main image. You're gonna wanna make as an attractive as possible main image as you can. Because as people are searching for bartender flashcards, they're gonna be scrolling down the list of results, and the first thing they'll notice is that main image. And if you have a high quality main image, they're likely to click on your product and they're likely to buy your product. Now, there's multiple different ways to do this, but I think the best way to do this is to pay someone to do a 3D render. And this is gonna cost you between $50 to $100 or so. And the benefit of doing a 3D render is you can create really amazing images with perfect lighting conditions and do things that maybe a photographer couldn't do.
Such as in my image here, you can see all the cards laid out. Almost impossible to recreate if I was doing this at home. And one thing also to keep in mind is your main image, there are a little bit of restrictions that Amazon wants you to do. For instance, you need to just have a plain white background, and you're supposed to have no text. Some people like to push the borders on that, but by rule, you're not supposed to have any text on there. But any secondary photos you have, you can add text, and you can do more lifestyle type photos.
And this is something when someone clicks on your listing, they're gonna see all the secondary photos. And this is a chance for you to sell them your product. You wanna show the benefits of owning your product. Because remember, when someone's searching for your product on Amazon, when they're looking at your listing on Amazon, they're not actually able to hold it in their hands. They're not gonna know what it's like to actually own your product. And so you wanna convey why owning your product is gonna be so amazing. Another way to do this is utilizing the bullet points. So next to the main image of your product, there is 5 bullet points. And this is a chance for you to sell your product to the customer. This is also another opportunity for you to include keywords that people might be searching for in Amazon for your product. Because remember, Amazon is a computer, it's an algorithm, and it's trying to figure out what searches to rank your product for. And you wanna give it some clues, you wanna give it some hints by including lots of those keywords throughout your product.
And on top of that, someone may not fully understand what your product is. So utilize those bullet points to really answer some of the most common questions you think someone might have that's stopping them from buying your product.
And once you're done setting up the title, the main image, all the other images, and the bullet points, it's time to launch your product. And this is the exciting part. This is what we've been waiting for. And if you've been following this tutorial so far, you're gonna do really well because you'll have a list of people, you have a following of people that are gonna buy your product from day one. Now what happens when people buy your product as soon as you launch on Amazon, Amazon notices and they're gonna start putting your product higher up on the search results, which results in more sales for you. And ultimately, all those people that have been following your social media, they're highly likely to leave 5-star reviews. This is a key part of selling a product on Amazon. You wanna get as many 5-star reviews as possible. And the best way by far to do this is to build a brand, to build a tribe around you. Again, Amazon's gonna notice you're getting a ton of sales, a ton of reviews, you're gonna get even higher and higher up on the search results.
And that's exactly what I did with my TikTok, my Instagram, my YouTube. All of my leads, I sent them into Amazon, and it's an algorithm is what Amazon is. So think about if you had a post on Instagram and a lot of people liked it. Well, guess what? Instagram's gonna show it to more and more and more people. Amazon works exactly the same way. So if you're sending people to Amazon and buy your product, they're gonna start showing it to more and more people.
Which means more and more money for you.
Yes. So if you follow all the steps at this point, you should have your Amazon product launched. But there's always one big mistake that people make, and it's never getting started. Like me, getting stuck in analysis paralysis. So Travis put together this awesome 7-day challenge to help motivate you to get started. You want to talk more about that?
Yeah, it's 7 days. Every single day, there is an in-depth lesson with an action item, a really small action item that you can do to actually get started on your business. And I actually took one of the days and I spent a full hour on product research, showing you in depth how you can find your own product. I even share some product ideas that I came up with that you can take and start your own Amazon business with.
And for a limited time, you can actually join this challenge for just $1.
And you can click the link down below to join. I'm not making a lot of money off this. I'm only charging $1 to make sure that you're actually committed to this process, because I want to see you have the same success that AJ's had, that I've been able to have, so you can create your own Amazon business. So click the link down below to join the Amazon challenge.